October 9th, 2 months to the day, Hurricane Milton spawned roughly 4 dozen tornadoes in Florida, 2 terrifying and rare EF3s hitting our area, leaving a path of destruction from Palm Beach County to the Treasure Coast. And through the eyes of a first responder, body camera footage shows us what it was like that day to be boots on the ground, I should say, on a rescue mission to help anyone they could. Communities left practically unrecognizable and families left with the heartache of an unexpected loss. 6 people died when a tornado ripped through Spanish Lakes Country Club Village in northern Fort Pierce. Tonight, our Kate Hussey walks us through that emotional day that changed so many lives.
Tornado! Tornado! It's a tornado right here. You need to get out of here. Get across. Go.
You see these things on TV, but when you walk out and see it, wow. This is the real thing. This is ground zero.
The tornado that tore apart Spanish Lakes.
Oh, my God.
Killed 6 friends and neighbors. Alejandro Alonso was on the phone with his grandson.
I called him back. I'm like, hey, take shelter, take shelter. He started screaming. He screamed, oh my God. And then I heard a big explosion.
Victor Lanero asked us not to show his face on camera.
This is about him. He lost his life.
It's a tornado! Get out of here!
Still, he and so many others share collective memories of what came next.
And then I guess it hit, and he went in the house to her, and it lifted the house. It threw him on the ground. I saw him. He was gone.
8600 block of Lonesome Pine. Reports of multiple houses completely destroyed.
I'd gotten to a mobile home that had been destroyed, and one was deceased, and that was confirmed. And they said, well, he had a girlfriend, there was somebody else with him.
Deputy Matthew Gertis's body-worn camera captured the frantic moments. Rescuers rushing, digging through rubble for Alejandro's girlfriend, Mary Grace Villamontes, barely spotting the top of her head under debris.
The steel beam that supports the trailer had flipped up over. She was inside the trailer, and the whole thing had come down on top of her, and it was going across her lower back. So there was no way that we were able to free her. All we could do is try to comfort her, kept talking to her, let her know that we were there.
It was a nightmare.
Victor told us he rushed to Spanish Lakes that night. In the dark, he used a tree to get across the canal and into the community, now flattened and unrecognizable.
I was tending to Mary by her side, and a gentleman had walked across the canal. He came across and he said, I'm sorry to bother you, sorry to bother you. I was on the phone with my grandfather, and I just heard a boom, and I'm trying to get to him, And I was like, absolutely, come on, come over. He came over, and he disappeared into the darkness. I kept talking to her, let her know that we were there, and a rescue personnel was on scene trying to get some heavy equipment in. They got to the scene too late. She had passed away. Shortly thereafter, when I went back to the cul-de-sac where all these trailers used to be, he was standing there. I started talking to him, and I said, did your grandfather have somebody with him tonight? And he said, yes. Her name was Mary. And I just couldn't believe it, that I was with Mary, saw him come across, and I said, well, I can take you to your grandfather.
He escorted me to his body, and that's where I was able to say my final goodbye, and I was able to confirm that it was him.
Alejandro and Mary gone, the couple's Rottweiler, Sheba, was still missing. With Hurricane Milton still moving in, the search was called off until the next day.
And as we're moving stuff, looking underneath a gap, we were sticking our heads underneath, and we saw what looked like, at first it just looked like a blanket or something. But then we realized, oh, wait a second, is that a dog? And we saw its chest going up and down, and it was breathing. And the grandson was contacted, and I came in there, grabbed the dog, and I saw they had like an emotional moment, and it just felt good to know that that dog is actually going somewhere after that.
A moment of hope in the midst of despair. Something to hold on to when everything else was lost.
You cry because you miss them. You cry because they're not there. But they're in your heart, and you got to know them, so you're lucky.
We will have much more from all of the communities and families impacted by Milton's tornado outbreak. Be sure to tune into our special documentary, The Day the Sky Turned. It airs Tuesday, December 31st at 5 o'clock.